And the last thing is, where does the name come from? Does anybody know where the name Ozark comes from? It's kind of a weird name.
Well, I know it's like has to do with French and has to do with a tree or something.
You got the French part right, and the Indian part right. Yeah, it's not an old world name. It didn't come across the Atlantic with anybody. What happens is it actually comes from this place. We know that the French were the first Europeans to settle the Mississippi River Valley, and one of their earliest outposts was a place that they eventually called Arkansas Post. It's not in the Ozarks. It's way down the delta of eastern Arkansas, close to the Mississippi River. In that flat area there, it looks kind of like a pancake. It's been burnt a little bit. And they used a name for a local Indian tribe there. Other Indians called this tribe the Arkansas. And they started signing their letters and their official papers that they would send back to Canada, where the French had come down into the Mississippi River Valley from, or back to France. They would sign these O's Arkansas, the French term meaning from or of, in the Arkansas, in the land of the Arkansas, from the land of the Arkansas, AUX, Arkansas. After a while, they abbreviated this, and this is what historians tell us where the name comes from. They abbreviated this to O's Arks, AUX, ARCS, it was usually spelled in those days, Ozarks. And eventually that Ozarks catches on among French traders and people, and they start referring to most of the area west of the Mississippi as the Ozarks. The traders carry the term up the Arkansas River into northern Arkansas, into Missouri. And this region becomes, for the French, Ozarks, the land of the Ozarks. And eventually, in the early 19th century, an Army officer, a U.S. Army officer, travels out putting together maps, not long after the Louisiana Purchase, mapping the area that has become this huge nation. And he uses the term Ozark Mountains and kind of plasters it across almost from Texas all the way to St. Louis. You know, this high ground, kind of the interior highlands that we talked about. He calls this the Ozark Mountains. Eventually, we know that the Ozarks come to apply only to that area north of the Arkansas River, that part of the region. But that's where it starts, O's Arks. And obviously, the English speakers thought the French spelling just made no sense at all. So we'll spell it however we want to, and it ends up O-Z-A-R-K. Or O-Z-A-R-K-S. And so you got your French, you've got your Indians, you've got your English coming in and changing the spelling, and so it has an interesting origin, the name does, that may be the most unique thing about the Ozarks, how it got its name. And we'll talk about that uniqueness as we go on this semester.